Welcome back to V-Roll. Today is Tuesday, where we go over our Trending Tuesday to see what kind of Pokemon products, both sealed and single cards, are trending up in price. Before we jump into that, let's hop over into this. Here, the Galarian Articuno Tin from Crown Zenith, 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown, and a Pokemon Mystery Prize going out to 4 lucky winners. All you gotta do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know how to do this. It's the same old, same old. Take one more step, though. Look in that description below. There's a link. There's a video. The original video where I started this giveaway. That's where you need to go and leave an additional comment. Now, it has come up that people see these videos daily because I post 7 days a week, so hit that bell. But it's come up that they think they're supposed to do an additional comment every time I ask for it. That is not the case. Once you comment on that video, you are entered. I want to make sure I'm just repeatedly going through these processes of letting you know where to do it, how to do it, so that way everyone has an opportunity, because I want this to be available to all of you who have been supportive of this channel, reaching over 2,000 subscribers already. That is incredibly amazing, and I can't thank you enough. Let's get into our Trending Tuesday and jump over here. We're starting out with the Earthen Vessel here from Shrouded Fable. Probably the only card really still going in the upward direction in Shrouded Fable. Everything else is coming down a little bit. Even the ones that are more playable are coming down a little bit, but we can see this one going up now. Funky little graph here in the near mint. I don't know. Hard to say, but we can look at things like recent data. All right, the prices have been climbing in the 50s range, going, I mean, some shooting up into the 70s, kind of crazy, but steadily it's been going into the lower 60s, moving its way up into the higher 60s or mid 60s, and more often $70 price range. So it's kind of floating around in that $65, $70 range here. We have near 65 there. Market price is saying about 63. And if we look into it, yeah, that's that top one there, 65, or they're about there, 66. It's just barely on the top end here. I don't entirely know what's going on with the graph, so wouldn't totally trust that. Perhaps a different condition would show us a different story. But Earthen Vessel, probably the only thing out of Shrouded Fable going up. I think those promos, the Greninja and the Kingdra, not anytime soon, but over time. I'm talking a couple years from now, they might tick up in value because the artwork is fantastic. Twilight Masquerade, for being super modern, comparatively speaking, Stellar Crown is out. Yes, thank goodness. We got a new set, a small set, an obtainable set with some better pull rates if you're looking for it. Twilight Masquerade is still doing pretty well in this upward trend of prices on that booster box, getting us in that 145 range. Pretty awesome there. The 3-pack blister, now these you can usually find in the $11, $12 range in the pre-sale, and just recently on TCG Player we've been seeing kind of a spike getting close to that $15 mark. Now this is specifically the Snorlax, which is going to do better because it's Snorlax. So if you're going to pick up a smaller investment piece for long term, Twilight Masquerade's a good set. Snorlax is a great Pokemon. This might be a nice little pickup before it gets out of control. It's not going to hit Evolving Skies prices like that Umbreon promo. I believe it's Umbreon. But we can see it going in that upward direction, and probably long term it'd be worth it as far as an investment piece. Now, one thing that kind of floors me is Temporal Forces just isn't hitting that hard. The prices aren't going crazy. Things aren't getting out of control. However, when you get into the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, because they are the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, they have that special promo with the Pokemon Center stamp on it. Now, that is more or less a modern day version of first edition. That's what's putting these things up in price, and these are steadily climbing still here. So retail on these was $60, and I believe 60, yeah. And we only went a little bit above it. Not even where we at 3 months ago. If we look 6 months ago, oh, okay. Hey, there was big hype for it, I guess, near the time of release, I guess. And we came down to reality, but now we are trending back up. So in this snapshot there, it's going up. In this snapshot here, it's only barely moving up, so it's all a matter of perspective too. What kind of time frame are you looking at? I'm in it for the long haul, so picking it up at MSRP, this is trending up. That's good. If you were one of those that jumped on it secondary market, that was your only option or whatever, and you went crazy for it, I apologize to you, I guess, for that move and maneuver. That FOMO got you. But you can be patient and then find a better way to enter into that. There are enough of these to go around. Probably a similar story on this one here. I know we are trending up, but I'm wondering if it's a similar story once we extrapolate it out to 6 months. Yeah, same kind of curve there. So we're in that $75 range on this one here for the Iron Leaves version of that. Mew EX, Paldean Fates rather, is bumping up a little bit in some places. Not a whole lot, not a big movement, just a little bit where it really counts. The Mew in particular, I think, is super unique, very beautiful, and it is moving. It's a jagged line, but it's moving in the upward direction. And here we kind of thought maybe a recovery was happening, but it took another step up, and now we're going to recover a little bit on that. But we are in that $93, $95 range. Are we gonna see this as a $100 card? Maybe. I don't know. Wish I picked it up at $75, but don't we all? Paldean Fates Tin, the Charizard specifically. If you still see these out in the wild, not uncommon, but the other two are gone off to the side there, like somebody was rummaging through it, and then the Charizard is non-existent altogether. So that's what happens. People rush in, they grab the Charizards, they run. Because getting them an MSRP, great deal, instant return once you get home, and you do have that option to sell it off, I guess, if you want, but I think because it's Charizard in this shiny Terra Super Crown form, whatever, I think it's worth holding on to as a sealed piece. The promo is not that expensive itself, but as a whole piece, the artwork, the tin, it's got a lot going for it that it brings this price up a little bit here. Almost to the point where, you know, somebody like me kind of feels like, yeah, should I go pick it up wherever I can for the cheapest I can? Maybe that's going to be in the $30, $40 range, and just hold it for the long term. I don't know. Tempted, but I don't know if that's a great strategy. You can even go on the smaller tin with 4 packs rather than 5. Starting out a little bit lower, but definitely trending up. Same story there. It's just a different tin format. 151 doing great and kind of making me a little uneasy. We should be expecting a reprint. Christmas season's coming up, and we should see a reprint or at least a massive restock. There's some speculation if there's a big holding waiting for this season, and it's already been allocated, so it's not really a reprint, but a restock, or if it's a full-on reprint. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box, however, we will not see a reprint on this. I discussed this, I think, just yesterday on my channel, and we have it pushing way up there, almost that $150 range for this particular Pokemon Center ETB, but we can even extrapolate this out to the other products of 151 because across the board it is trending up. Not on the singles quite yet. Some of them, yes, a few pennies here, a few dollars there, but on the sealed product, we're already pushing up there. Picking this up at MSRP or just under, I think I got it for 80, so that's a great return. Doesn't mean this is going to be forever. I don't know if mini tins make the cut for reprints. Typically it would be an ETB, but this was a specialty here where there is no booster box, so there might be more ancillary products that do come into that fold once we reach that time. Again, fingers crossed that there's actually a reprint happening. I think the Pokemon Company would do well to do so. I think the market would benefit greatly from it happening, although I could see why that might not come about, and that's a whole nother video, a whole nother discussion of why that may not be the case. I don't know if I'll even get to it, but we'll see. We'll see. There's always ideas swirling in this crazy brain of mine. 151 Ultra Premium Collection. Now, when you start looking at things like I was just glancing, Hidden Fates, you know, they had a UPC there. It didn't look the same. It was a little different, a larger box, a little plastic window to look through. So they had an ultra premium collection there. That thing is crazy through the roof on its price. And one, it wasn't as hot of a market as it is now as far as attendance in the market of collectors, investors, and even players in the TCG. But what you have is these different products outside of a booster box, especially on specialty test sets where a booster box was not available, and they start pushing up, and those things don't often get a whole lot more added stock to them. There was a time people were trying to dump these things. Costco, a major retailer, was sending them off for $90 a pop, so pretty inexpensive there, but we have this nice big trend up. It's floating around this 140 range, 155-ish, what is that? So, like, it's floating up in that range. I think, you know, paying $15 shipping on something that's $130 kind of doesn't make sense. Can you grab this for less? 148 shipping, got to do the math. It's probably similar. Looks pretty similar. So fine. It is what it is. It's getting to that 150 range. Okay. I don't know if they're going to reprint these. Can't be sure. It's got a lot of extras, doing the playmat, putting in the deck box. There's other things that they'd have to consider putting in here, which takes a little bit more of production, time, energy, and value to place into a product where the UPC may not hit that restock, where an ETB is a little bit easier to accommodate. Even the mini tins are a little bit easier to accommodate than the UPC, only because you got the packaging to deal with. This one has a lot of extras inside. I don't know if we'll see a reprint on the UPC. The regular Elite Trainer box, this one is pretty surprising because if there is going to be a reprint, this is the one you can almost guarantee. Now, I think the Zapdos and the Alakazam boxes would be an easy one. The poster collection would be an easy one. Even the binder would be pretty reasonably easy to reproduce. But the ETB would be the staple product to make sure they reprint and restock heavily, especially leading into holiday season like Christmas. But $80 right now sitting on it. And even if you picked it up at $80 today, I'm not suggesting that you do, but if you picked it up at $80 today, I don't think you'd be hurting in a year looking at this thing. Big reprint could come along. A lot of people are going to want to have that for opening, doing it as gifts, adding to their sealed collection. Sealed collection, they're not going to probably sell off anytime soon. And then we'll see it come down, not close to MSRP, but getting there, and then work its way back up into this $80 range as a quick recovery, because that'll be it. I don't think they're going to do more than one big reprint on this, if there's one left, in my opinion. Speaking of the binder collection, we have this one over here sitting in at almost $50, $55 here, I guess. Little quick shot to the top here just in the past few days. I don't know what's sparking that, but interesting to see if we just stretch this out. Yeah, it's just a stair-stepping climb up here a little bit into that $50 range for the binder collection from Pokemon 151. Obsidian Flames, a set largely looked over, easy pull rates, considerably easy rather, and just really low-end pricing, but it's recovered pretty quickly on that. I think Charizard, being the Charizard set, it did carry it to recovery, and now it's carrying it into growth. We do see this little downslope here, but if we start stretching it out, since it's been out a lot longer, it's been a pretty steady climb here towards the end in the past 6 months or so. Something to think about, and not a bad pickup at $112. You got to remember, $115 rather. These things are sitting at $163 or something for MSRP. Now, I wouldn't feel comfortable paying that because of the opportunity on the front end of getting these things at $100, $105, and then see where it goes if it can get down to that $90 range or whatever. But you know, it's still not a horrible pickup at $115. Just something to consider. Paldea Evolved, another hot set, one of the better ones from the Scarlet and Violet era, and overlooked pretty easily in the beginning. The Pokemon Center ETB, $140. Whoa. And really shot up in the past few days. Yikes, that is pretty crazy. Again, exclusive ETB. You have a Pikachu stamped promo in there. I think that gives it a lot of worth there, just having it be Pikachu specifically. And then we can move into the booster box. Still good, but I made a nice comparison on these to yesterday as far as investment pieces, percentage return, if you were to get it at reasonable prices when it was released to where it is today. And interesting to see that you have a $140 box here on the Pokemon Center version and a $150 box on the booster box. This is going to take up a lot less real estate. You're obviously getting a lot more packs, so $10 more. This may be worth the investment at that point. There's no stamp promo inside, but it is a good box, and it's a booster box. We all know that traditionally in the investor space of Pokemon, booster boxes do very well. Wanted to pull out this card just because it seems like the card that won't stop growing, and here we are approaching that $1,000 mark, $976 with shipping, and just crazy jumps here in the past few months, just crushing where it's been. Although it was interesting to see just a year ago it was about that 800, and here we are getting to that 875, 975. Is that even real? What do we got here? What can we do? What can you really do here? Near mint, 975. Okay, so that's wild. People are listing this thing really high. 1,500, 2,000. These are too wild. This doesn't make sense. What's the true price on this card? What's the true price? The true price is based on what people are willing to pay. 850, 825. 826, 940, 940, 950, 1,000. Jeez. Okay, it's been a little all over the place, even still, on what people are willing to pay. These listings may not be off, but we are approaching the $1,000 mark, if not exceeding it already. I didn't realize that. That's wild. Celebrations Prime Collection. A little bit specialty product coming out of the Celebrations collection from that era in Pokemon. Everything was going crazy. It was really hard to get. I don't even recall what MSRP was on this. $50 maybe, something like that. It was only available on Amazon Prime or Amazon. Maybe you didn't have to be a Prime member, but that was the only way to get it. And it's had a pretty steady growth. Did I stretch this out? Yeah, a year. So it's had a pretty steady growth since the beginning of this year. Looking at last year, it's not a huge tick up when we're talking $80 to 82, but that's another thing to kind of showcase that over time, even if you think, oh man, I bought it at $80 and now it's only $75, and hold on, the long term will show you it's okay. You'll probably be okay. Very few products climb, and then tank really hard and never recover. At least from my experience, from my research, I haven't found that to be the case. So interesting one to land on. Celebrations brought me back into the collection hobby, and I know 151 has done the same for a lot of people. I expect to see a big surge when that Rocket set and maybe those Gym Hero type sets come back. That should be an interesting year next year. But for now, we're looking at the trends of today, and I'm looking at what's coming down the pipe in Surging Sparks. I think it's going to be really exciting when we get into the Christmas season. But maybe we can wrap some gifts under the tree for you and start with free. All right, we got to get 2,500 subscribers, get you that Galarian Articuno tin from Crown Zenith, the 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown, and the Pokemon Mystery Prize for lucky winners. I wanted to make sure there was a little bit more of an opportunity instead of one prize for one person. You know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.